Okay, before we jump into KeyShot, let's just have a look at our model and our pieces. Now, as I said before, in the scenes folder, we have got this headphones posed, and this will come straight into KeyShot without any problems because I've checked it all. But also, we'll be referring back to this folder for some of the source images that have been created. And lots of these have been created for the model in the Maya course, which was on this headphone set. So I've got things like the bump map for the speaker, and I've got the diffuse. I've also got two versions of a grid. Probably we won't use either of these, but I'll show you how to put them in position. And we've got the little logo with a bump map and a diffuse, and we've got the shell. Now, I did another version of the shell here, but we'll probably just be using this one. Now, also in this folder I've got some HDRI maps, but we'll probably use the one that ships with KeyShot. So let's jump straight into KeyShot now and import our model. And remember, our model is inside of our scenes folder, which is here and here, posed. Okay, so before we do that, I'm just going to, inside of the model folder, I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to call it KeyShot. And this will be where we will store our KeyShot file. So let's open KeyShot now. Okay, with KeyShot open, let's go to the file and click import. Now we're going to go and find our file. So let's pretend I'm on my desktop. So I click here, inside of model, inside headphones, inside of scene, and posed headphones, and let's just open that. We can leave snap to ground and Y on, size we won't change, keep original, and leave the settings the same. Let's just import that in. Okay, so this is our headset, it's all in there. If you find that your model is actually maybe off the ground or something, like this, okay, you can't see the ground, you can see the ground shadow there. What you can do is you can select model inside of scenes and you can say snap to ground, and it will place it onto the ground. Now the thing is, it might not place all of it onto the ground. You might need to go in and select certain parts of the model to make sure that it's selected, or you might have to manually select this and just place it on like that. Okay, so, and then when you finished your move, just click there. Okay, so we've got our model on the ground. Okay, what you need to do now is save it out. So I'm going to go to File and I'm going to go to Save, and I'm now going to locate that folder, which is under Models, under KeyShot, and call it Headphones. Now, when you open KeyShot up, you will find that if you move the folder structure, it may not find, well, it won't find the textures and things that you moved. So you need to keep the location of your source files and the KeyShot files relative to each other. It's not a big problem if you do move it, you just need to go and find those textures and just match it back up again. But as a part of the course, try and keep them all in the same folder, and that way you won't have that problem. Okay, so there is our model. It's all ready to be started on the texturing. So that's importing our model into KeyShot and setting our folder up ready to start putting the materials onto our model. Right, before we move on, I just want to jump straight back into Maya, because I need to show you that KeyShot will actually take the files that you output. Let me just demo it to you. It's easier for me to just show you. Okay, I'm back in KeyShot in Maya, and what you've got is you've got groups. I created a new group for this called T-Mesh, and inside of KeyShot, if I open that up now, let's just open that scene that we created. You'll see under the scene here that you've got T-Mesh. Now it also takes the material, so it will give you a material. If I double click here, you'll see that there's a material, there's a set of blends in here. If I go into Maya, you'll see that I've also got a set of blends. Let me go to the rendering, hypershade, and here you'll see loads of blends in here. So it actually will, if you name your materials and you name your actual parts, like TE mesh, which I've got here, which you'll see under scene is, let me just close this down, TE mesh here. It will rename them in here and it will regroup them in here. So keep your folder structure nice and clean. Like I've got my headphones here. I could take that and just grab that, drop that in here so it's part of the headphones, and then I've got the plug there, and this one is actually not used at all. So I should really just have cleaned my scene up. I just made a bit of a change to this, that's why I didn't do it. Let me just delete that out. So this piece here, for instance, I could name this head stretch, something like that. Okay, close that down, and I could call this Geo here. Okay, and of course I could name all of my materials as well if I wanted to, but let me just save this scene, go back into KeyShot, just do an import and an update here. Now what you will need to do, you need to redo this because you've named, when you do an import it will look at the names, so it will keep a copy. If were I to put that head strap extender, it would keep a copy of this top mesh, and then it will put the new one over the top. That's not what we want. So what I need to do is just go to new, and I just need to do a new import for this particular piece. If you don't change the name of anything, you just change the position or you add a piece of geometry, it's not a problem to do an import and just to re-update it. But as we change things, I need to do a re-import. So headphones, select as it is, and now inside of here you will see that this piece is called head stretch. See, so it's called Geo. The top base is called Geo. I've got my plug in a separate group and my headphones in a separate group. So now I can just save this back up. I'll save it back into the same folder that we had before, which was in the model, in the KeyShot, and under headphones, and I'll just replace that. Okay, so it's just to show you that the to-do link and the materials will actually be brought in from, as you can see there, from Maya. Although we will now start replacing all of these materials, so none of these will be relevant in the end. Right, one little thing to point out before we move on to actually putting the materials on is that when we start to drop our materials on, if in the program you've assigned the same material, so say in Maya I'd use the same material for this headset, this top part, and this other shell here, when you actually drop a material on here, it will apply to all those ones that are in the same material. As you can see, the top part and both of these pieces here. Okay, I'm pressing Ctrl Z to go back. If you want to assign a separate material to these linked materialed pieces, you can easily do it. What you need to do is you need to right hand click over the material part and go unlink material. And now I can just assign this and it won't affect anything else. Okay, so it's just to show you a little bit about that. If you wonder what's going on and you can't unlink the materials, you can just right hand click and unlink them. Okay, but sometimes it's handy to make a change to one and have it replicated onto the same piece on the other side, which is just a speed saving technique. Also, if you want to just view one part of the material because you want to work on one part at the same time, you can click it on here, and in under scenes the project, which you can get through going to window, project, scene, you'll see that it's actually highlighted here. Now what I can do is I can turn all of the parts off and I can just turn that part on. Okay, so if you want to spend time just working on one piece of material, you've got the option of turning all of the pieces on and off here, and obviously if you click them all, then it'll all come back. So it gives you a way of isolating your parts very easily, especially when it comes to this piece here. I want to turn that off so that I can see my internal parts here. Okay, and the same with this one as well. So just a little bit of advice there about how to turn parts on and off. And scroll down and turn that part back on again. Okay. Alright, and as I said, you use the Alt key or the left hand mouse button to just spin around, and you can use the Alt key and the right button to zoom in and out, or you can use the middle mouse button and the middle mouse button to move up and down. So pretty easy to navigate. Okay.